Hi everyone, welcome to PHTV Channel 4 in Palos Heights. I'm Sue Jankowski and we are here with the Travel Show. This is where we bring you some great ideas for traveling any time of year. And we always have our good friend Kathy Janes with us, who comes from Class Act Travel. Kathy, thanks for being here as always.
Very
it's
welcome.
great.
Thank you.
And Kathy always brings a really great guest. And today's great guest is Crystal Sampson. Thank you, Crystal, for being here today with us.
Thank you for having me.
Crystal comes from American Queen Steamboat Company, and I don't know a thing. I'm so excited because I didn't even know there was a company like that. And so I didn't ask Crystal one question because I thought we're going to hear it all together. So I'm excited. Crystal, what is that? I mean, what are we doing? I mean, we're getting on a steamboat, but where are we going?
That was good. I like that. Where are we going?
Well, we are American Queen Steamboat Company, and we are uniquely American river cruises. So.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, because you hear about river cruises. You know, we've talked about river cruises, but we don't really talk about American river cruises. They're all somewhere else. So with this, where do they go? What kind of trips?
This is my exciting part. This is the one that I get excited
trips
about.
would we go on?
Oh, yeah.
So we sail America's heartlands. So we have two authentic paddle wheeler boats on the Mississippi River, and we also have a boat sailing the Columbia and the Snake River out in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So a little bit of celebrating America's history. The Mississippi River is famous for those Civil War battle sites, the Mark Twain history, and then of course the Columbia and the Snake River, very famous for Lewis and Clark's expedition.
Oh, right,
Yes.
right. I'm glad you brought that up. It's like things you heard in history.
Yes,
okay,
yeah.
Exactly.
But you can go back. Okay, well, let's focus on the Mississippi tours for just a moment. In our community, the Mississippi is not that far. This seems like a great alternative for a lot of people who want to take a fun trip or go on a river cruise, but they do not want to go overseas. They don't want to go far from home.
Exactly right.
And this is just
Exactly.
a few hours away.
Right.
Exactly.
So tell us, like, where do you start and what do you do? And do you stay on the boat? What do you what do you do?
You're exactly right. This type of voyage is that traveler who's interested in history, but maybe they don't want to get on a 6 to 8 hour flight to Europe to explore that history, and they want to explore America's history. So the Mississippi, not only do you have the lower and the upper Mississippi, but we also celebrate her tributaries, such as the Ohio River, the Illinois River, the Cumberland and Tennessee River, and we do somewhere up to 16 different itineraries between all of the rivers throughout the year on 2 different boats.
So you actually have choices then. You say, I want to go
Yes.
this because
Yes.
I want to learn these things.
You
Yeah.
do.
Typically,
Yes.
how long would a trip be?
Most of our voyages, we have between 5 to almost 24-day itineraries, but typically our voyages...
That was good.
It's really long,
Yes.
24 days.
Typically our voyages are about 9-day itineraries. And what that includes is a pre-night hotel so that you can enjoy that city of embarkation first for one night and then 7 nights on the water.
Okay. So obviously you're going up and down.
Yes.
So you can connect at either end.
You could, and you could choose if you want to start, say, in New Orleans and go upriver, or if you want to start in Memphis and go downriver.
Exactly.
You can do it either way. It's your
Okay.
choice, and they start all the way up at the headwaters of the Mississippi.
We do. That long voyage that we were talking about, that 23-day voyage, is the mighty Mississippi. So you can go all the way from New Orleans all the way up to the Twin Cities.
Wow.
So on 23 days, yes.
Okay. Now, explain what, I mean, I think people in their mind are used to thinking about a cruise ship, like a big ocean liner. So what kind of amenities would you expect on a steamboat?
Exactly. So we are very all-inclusive. We pride ourselves on that. We'll start with the American Queen. That's our flagship.
Okay.
She is the only authentic steam-powered paddle wheeler left in operation that
Wow.
does
That's
overnight
cool.
cruises.
I
Yeah.
mean, just
So
that
She's
alone.
historic alone. Just
Right.
going on that, just stepping on foot of her is historic. She's the largest, most opulent and Victorian riverboat in America.
Wow.
Yes.
So, I mean, that would be fun just to,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be doing that.
And still relatively, in talking in terms of cruise ships that people are used to, she's fairly small. She's about 414 passengers, 213 staterooms. So when we're thinking about those big ocean liners, they have thousands of passengers.
Yes, right.
So
Yeah.
still a very intimate experience with those. And she's just very authentic, very opulent and Victorian. And she's just beautiful. And she does those Mississippi sailings as well. So she's going to be doing throughout the year. We do take about a 6-week break at the beginning of the year. But for the most part, she's in operation almost year-round.
Okay, so most of the trips would be then maybe more latter February, March through December?
Through December, through New Year's.
Okay,
yes.
through New Year. Well, that'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A little
that'd be-
chilly
on the
maybe,
Mississippi.
but of course if you're going down to New Orleans, it's
Exactly.
it's very, beautiful
That would
weather
be
that
just
way.
really cool,
It
yeah.
really would.
Yes,
So-
and we really try to do our voyages based on weather. If you're in the dead of July, you don't want to be in New Orleans.
No, no.
So that's when we
Right,
would head to the
yeah.
upper Mississippi, and we may do St. Louis to those twin cities and vice versa. So,
Wow. Okay. So now, so you travel and you get to different cities, historical sites, and then everyone gets off. And is there a tour available? Is it included? Do you have choices? How does that work?
That's a good question. So we're very all-inclusive. So from the start of your experience with us, you're going to be enjoying that pre-night hotel. So if you get on the embarkation in New Orleans, you'll be enjoying a night in a deluxe New Orleans hotel. We do all of your check-ins and all of your luggage carrying to the boat the morning of that embarkation. And then you have the day free to enjoy that city. And once you get on board, everything is taken care of. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner in 2 different dining venues will be taken care of. We do have complimentary bottled water, soft drinks, coffee and cappuccino 24/7, as well as room service. And then for dinner service, we have beer and wine included. And a lot of times those are regional selections, whether that's regional breweries or wineries. That's very important when we come to the Columbia and the Snake River because that is wine region.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that'd be really great. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And the inclusion that most people really enjoy is our shore excursions. We do those in the form of a hop-on, hop-off bus. So every night before we arrive at a port, each of our passengers will get a map detailing the stops along those hop-on, hop-off routes. And they can do them at their own leisure. So you can get on at stop 1, get off at stop 3, walk to stop 7, whatever you want. It's your experience. You get to choose your own adventure. And we're hitting all of the major sights and sounds, any kind of museums and attractions for our guests. Those admissions are included.
You know, that is really nice because then you can actually visit the city at your own pace, and maybe you
Correct.
don't want to do all of the museums or whatever there is available there. Maybe you want to sit and have coffee and watch the people of that,
Exactly.
city.
Enjoy that.
Or
Yeah.
maybe you want to go shopping, or
Exactly, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the shortest trip is 9 days.
The shortest trip, we do have some sprinklings of 5-day itineraries.
Okay.
And that would be a pre-night hotel in the embarkation city. A lot of those are round trip, those kinds. So if you want to do a round trip New Orleans, those usually happen about February, March on the American Queen. And you can do 1 night in a New Orleans hotel and then 3 nights on the water.
And then with a longer trip, you start at one end and get to
Yes.
the other, which varies depending on how long you're. I mean, 9 days, I think about the Mississippi is pretty long, but 9 days sounds long. I mean, so they're stopping frequently.
We're stopping every day in port. So
Stopping
you're getting
every
to
day.
enjoy
Okay.
each of these historic cities, from Civil War battle sites to the history of Mark Twain.
That's what we were just talking about.
Things
Yeah,
like that.
that just-
Every day we're stopping at those ports. You're getting to enjoy the ins and outs of the city and getting a little bit of history with that as well.
Isn't that cool?
That really, really is.
And isn't there some person on the ship that always will tell you about where what's on the river as you're going and explain all this stuff?
Exactly.
And give you the history of the river in that area for that day.
Exactly.
And they have rocking chairs in the front that you can sit and rock and watch the river.
Yes.
It really, I'm sorry, but I think this is such a unique product.
It
so
is.
different to us here. We just don't have this.
Exactly.
It's just
But we do.
cool.
The Mississippi is just right over there.
It's
really close.
Yeah, it is right there. And there's one that goes out of St. Louis because I had clients of mine that did that. They went out of St. Louis, spent one night in St. Louis, and then got on the ship and did that. Everybody just loves what they do because it is so all inclusive
Yes.
for this. Yes.
And back to what Kathy said, we have a special position on board called our River Lorian, and he is our river historian. So that's something very unique to our project as well. He is going to tell you about the history of the river based on the ports that you're going. He'll give enrichment talks throughout the week. He'll even do things like talks along the outer decks, so you can know about what you're passing along the river when you're sitting out on your veranda, from wildlife to the industrial parts of it to the historic parts of it. And not only do we have this position, but we also bring on step-on artists. So people that can tell you the history, but in a unique twist. For example, on the American Queen on the Mississippi River, we have a Mark Twain impersonator that comes on.
That's cool. Yeah.
And he
is.
spends
Yeah.
a few days on the boat, and he's Mark Twain the entire time. You can catch him in our Mark Twain gallery reading a newspaper, and he'll answer you like Mark Twain.
That is just,
So things like that. On the Pacific Northwest, our boat there, we have a Native American storyteller, and he tells stories about when Lewis and Clark came to discover his village. So things like that we use to enhance that historic aspect of it, and you always have access to the information about the history.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that is really kind of exciting, because as you're going along, you want to know
You
what
want
am
to
I
learn.
looking
Right,
at,
exactly,
and hear the stories. Now that you talked about a Native American telling you stories from that time, so now we're in let's just transfer to the Columbia Snake River. So where does that begin and end? Where do you embark on that trip?
Yes. So our boat on the Pacific Northwest, she sails the Columbia and the Snake River. She is named the American Empress. And she's got about 223 passengers with 112 staterooms. And the unique thing about this vessel is she's all Riverview staterooms. So everyone has a veranda and a nice, beautiful view of the Columbia and the Snake.
That's
and
nice.
for
That is
that
nice.
river especially,
Yeah.
I don't know if you know anything about the Pacific Northwest, but it's absolutely gorgeous. You're going from coastal views of Astoria, Oregon, through the Columbia River Gorge, all the way to the Snake River, those beautiful desert canyons with rolling hills of wine behind it. So just three very distinct views, and it's really important that you have that Riverview stateroom there.
Isn't that
is
Columbia
beautiful.
River Gorge where they do that I don't know, like surfboard sailing or something, and it gets real crazy in there at times?
Oh, it is the windsurfing. It's the windsurfing capital of the
that's
world.
what-
Yes.
Yeah, right there.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
you're getting to see some really amazing views. Now she will do eastbound and westbound voyages starting in Vancouver, Washington, going all the way to Clarkston, Washington. That's basically western Idaho.
Oh, okay.
So you'll enjoy your pre-night hotel in Vancouver, Washington. Or if you're doing the eastbound to westbound voyage, you'll enjoy your pre-night hotel in Spokane, Washington. So you'll stay in the historic Davenport Hotel, and then we'll bus you down to the river. So
Oh,
you
that
get
just
to enjoy that,
sounds
then come down to the Snake
beautiful.
River and sail westbound.
Wow. And now, typically, is that same thing? Like there's some 5 nights, some 9 nights, some longer than that?
Yes, we do have, at the beginning of the season, we do have a couple of those 5-day itineraries, and those will be round trip Vancouver, round trip Portland, because you'll fly into Portland with that. But the majority of those voyages are going to be those 9 days, and it's still going to have those basic inclusions that's unique to our product. You're going to have that pre-night hotel. You're going to have those included meals, regional selections, and not only regional with the beer and the wine selections for dinner, but regional with the food. When you're in the Pacific Northwest, you're eating salmon, Dungeness crab, huckleberry. It's very indigenous berry to Washington State. So just amazing food that is going to be regional as well. You're also going to be enjoying that distinction of that hop-on, hop-off bus tours, enjoying each port at your own pace.
Sounds really nice too. So with that one, what cities would you be going to
Yes, that's
along
a good
the
question.
route?
We hit Astoria, Oregon is one of them. She's going to be a coastal city, a really beautiful coastal city. You're hitting the Stevenson, Washington. That's really the heart of the Columbia River Gorge. The Dalles, Oregon has a lot of Lewis and Clark history. Richland, Washington is another place. So we're basically going to those highlights of what Lewis and Clark discovered when they came to discover the West.
Wow. Okay, that is really cool too. And I was just thinking this is strictly Mississippi, which is great.
It's not.
But it's you
Yeah.
can also. I mean, if you love doing that, and if you live nearby here and you want to try it out, and then you think, yeah, I liked it so much, I want to move on and go out west. though.
The 23-day one. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the mighty Mississippi. You could hit every city along the
Yeah,
Mississippi.
I mean, which is really nice. It gives
It
people
is.
the opportunity, and that seems like a slow down kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know you're stopping every day, and it's your choice how much you want to do for activities,
Exactly.
which is nice for a lot of people too. I feel like some people like a lot of activity and they want to get out and they want to do
Sure.
a lot, and other people they're just happy with kind of
Sit back and lay back
Yeah,
and use that rocking chair.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Sorry, That's a great point,
Use a
too.
rocking chair. I like that.
You can kind of do exactly what you want, whether it's, sit on your veranda and enjoy the river go by, sit in a rocking chair. If you want to be active, we have bikes on board. The American Queen has a fitness center and a swimming pool. So there are onboard amenities as
Oh,
well.
a swimming pool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't think of a
They're pretty
steamboat
big.
having things like this?
This
You
is
don't.
pretty big.
Exactly.
It is. It's pretty
Yeah.
good size.
And very unique.
Isn't there different room categories too on this?
There are.
Just not just verandas. That you have
Exactly.
other ones besides too.
We
yeah.
do have anywhere from inside rooms, inside cabins, to luxury suites. And they all boast different amenities, such as butler services for some of those luxury suites, preferred show seatings for our entertainment, and beautiful verandas to enjoy, or maybe a bay window cabin that you can enjoy the beautiful view of the river, but not be outside necessarily. We have a lot of different categories of cabins and for the guests to choose from.
Wow, that's really great. Now with the other one, which is all veranda, those rooms are similar, or
They are similar. Some of them do have more square footage, so that's also where the category cabins come in. But on that boat, everyone has a river view, and it's such
that's cool.
it's a smaller,
It's
only
very-
only
yeah.
223 passengers,
Nice.
so it's
Yeah.
more intimate experience. You really become a family
Yeah.
with the crew on board and your fellow passengers.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so for something like this, we're thinking, oh, I would like to do that come April or June or whatever. Is this something we should be looking into like right now
Yes,
because it kind of
yes,
sells out,
yes.
or can we
Yeah.
just hop on? Are there openings just kind of spontaneously?
It sells out very quickly.
Very good question.
Yeah,
Yes,
it does.
sells out very quickly.
Because I've had people trying to, and I can't. It just wasn't available. It was gone. It was
Oh, wow.
I think it's because it is unique, and also it's not huge. I mean, forgive
Exactly.
me, you don't
Yeah,
have
right.
thousands of cabins on
We
the
don't.
ship, and that's why I think it sells out as quickly as it does. And it's just, it is what it is. It's small, it's intimate, and it's really kind of neat because you get to be friends with almost everybody on board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be cool, you know.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are looking for that smaller, more intimate experience.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's overwhelming to be on a ship with thousands of people and so much going on, and this is not as overwhelming, and
Exactly.
it's a little more personal.
It's more laid
Yeah.
back. Or, as
Exactly.
you said, you can go do as much as you want to. But on the ship, you don't have all these people everywhere. It's just calming.
Yeah, but with everything included too, you don't have to worry about, having to pull out your wallet and pay for this meal and that
Exactly.
meal, and even the beer and wine is a nice thing that you don't have to worry about. Well, do I want to buy a glass of wine or not? So that's nice that that's
It creates a
included, too.
whole experience for the guest, and just like you said, we have about something like 550 beds on the Mississippi a week, whereas some of those larger cruise liners have that in one deck.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's an
Absolutely.
intimate experience, but the inventory is limited, so these do book out. We did this year add a brand new boat to the Mississippi. Her name is the American Duchess, and she is just started her sailings in August, the
Cool.
end of August. So we did open up some more inventory on the Mississippi, and we're doing it a little bit differently as well. We have the American Queen, that opulent Victorian style vessel. When you think of steamboating, you think of the American Queen. But with the American Duchess, we decided to do something a little more boutique, contemporary, and modern. She is an all-suites paddle wheeler. She's only about 166 guests. She's about 83 staterooms, but she is all suites. So the smallest cabin you're going to get there is about 190 square feet, which is a pretty large
Yes,
cabin
yeah,
for
it
this
is.
type of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But all modern, all boutique, all luxury, and she's going to have some of the largest public spaces, some of the largest rooms, and she's going to have the first ever loft suites on the American rivers.
Whoa,
We have
how
4 of
cool.
those. 550 square feet with 2 full bathrooms. So we're adding some of those things that people are finding from the European rivers, and they want to do it here, and they want to do it with our history
Yes,
instead.
yes.
So.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting because now you can have choices. I mean, you might want
Exactly.
that old Victorian kind of feel because that's what you think of with steamboats. But then
Yeah.
Exactly.
some people prefer that boutique look, a little luxury item, or maybe they've done one and want to do something else. So that's a nice choice too.
Exactly. You have your feel of how you want to explore that history, whether you want to do it with that historic type opulence,
Yeah.
or
Right,
whether you
yeah.
want to do it contemporary and modern.
Right, right, exactly. Okay, well, it sounds like you need to contact Kathy and make your plan, and you better make it,
Soon,
think ahead.
soon, yeah.
Because it sounds like,
Sorry.
and you're right, there's not many rooms available, so, you're going to have to pick. Or I'm sure there's lots of jump-off times, in the months.
Exactly.
So you have those choices too.
Exactly. And
Also, I think you offer a alcohol package on board too.
we do. We do offer beer and wine with dinner service. However, if you have those clients or those people who want to enjoy a little more, maybe a pre and post dinner cocktail, we do have a great beverage package that can be an add-on. It is $3.99 per cabin, so 2 people can enjoy
That's
unlimited cocktails
unbelievable.
for $399, which
That's
is a great
very
price.
reasonable.
Yeah,
it is.
Exactly.
Because usually it's a whole lot higher than
It
that.
sure is.
Exactly.
Just because
for 7 nights. Yeah.
you're a captive audience, so it's kind of like, but that is a dynamite price, guys.
Exactly.
Dynamite.
Yes.
Sounds like fun. Well, Crystal, thank you for bringing that to us today. I'm excited about it because that's all new. That's all new to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Kathy, thanks for being with us today. Crystal, thanks for sharing
Thank you.
everything.
I thought this was just too neat that it's
Yeah,
such
it
a
is.
different. I tried once before to get their company on, and they didn't have anybody. Then they hired her, and I said, "Oh, thank you, that's good." They hired her. I said, Thank you.
That's
It's
good.
just
Thank you.
so different. It's
It is.
unusual.
It is. And like I said, there's a lot of people that just don't really want to leave our confines of our beautiful, wonderful country. And this gives you a chance to catch up on your history here and enjoy the country. I like it that you can do, that Midwest experience, and you can do, and plus you go south, so that's great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then getting that Western experience, I think, is really fun too. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Mississippi and the Columbia and the Snake River, it's American history at its finest. And what better way to do that than sail through that and enjoying amazing themes, amazing luxury, amazing food, and an amazing staff.
Yeah, awesome.
I think you were
again.
impressed, weren't you, on this one?
I am tempted. Thanks for watching us. We'll see you next time when we'll bring you another fun thing for you to do. Bye-bye.